looking ahead to Tennessee, we're in a stretch where they should win. They should win the next 3. I mean, they should beat Tennessee. Although Tennessee is, even at 0-5,
they're a better team than that.
Well, they are, but I tell you what, it's bizarre. I looked; they were 13-3 last year. I looked; they have the exact same team, except for Haynesworth. Albert Haynesworth is gone. Could he have been that impactful? Maybe he was, but I mean, their secondary.
Well, considering that Washington paid him,
their secondary was incredible last year, and it's just been awful this year. And they've been getting behind, and when they get behind, they can't. I mean, if the Patriots get a 10-point lead, that 10-point lead in Denver, I don't know what your thought was watching the game, but it never felt like, oh, they're up 10, they're going to run away and hide from this. I never got that thought. If they get up 10-0 on Tennessee, it's over because Tennessee cannot play from behind. But Tennessee is very good at getting. They're still the same pretty good team. I mean, they got a good offensive line, they got a good defensive line. They're a good team. They can beat the Patriots. If they beat the Patriots, it would not be the greatest upset of all time. Because the Patriots aren't playing great, and Tennessee still has a lot of talent. They have 22 starters back from a team that won 13 games. So, I mean, same coach.
But you got to look, when you're Tennessee and you're looking at the season, one thing that you have to look at is at what point are we going to lose enough that you want to start throwing Vince Young in there? I don't think this would be the game to do it.
No, I don't think so either. The Vince Young, they have the Patriots, and then I believe they have a bye week. So if Jeff Fisher is smart, which I'm pretty sure he is, he'd probably play Collins one more week, and then start with the bye week and get Vince Young ready to go. I mean, there's no one's coming back from 0-5 to make the playoffs, so their season is over.
Mm-hmm. Especially considering who they're challenging in the division team.
Yeah, I mean they're finished. So I expect the Patriots to. This could be Brady's coming out party too, because he really has. He's played a very rough schedule in terms of who he's playing against. I mean, the Bills' defense has been excellent this year. Broncos' defense is great. Ravens' secondary is not the greatest, but it's still
overall,
they're still the Ravens.
It's a strong defense.
Falcons, the Falcons have looked like world beaters against everyone but the Patriots. So and the Jets, and they've probably played the hardest schedule. One of the top 5 hardest schedules of any team, so that plays a factor.
And one thing about Brady, and I don't want to read too much into the guy because he's a winner, and we've seen what he's been like in his time here. But one thing that I've noticed is after the last few weeks of saying, we've got to get on the same page, we've got to do this, we've got to do that. This week, and it wasn't in his post-game press conference, but it was on his WEEI appearance. He's starting to shoulder the blame, and he's starting to internalize this and saying, hey, a lot of this is me.
Yeah.
And I think that's where he's going to respond from that. And I think he kind of had that crutch at the beginning of saying, we're still trying to get on the same page, but now I'm not saying Brady's to blame for it all, but when he feels like he is, I think that he's only going to come back stronger from that.
Well, I think maybe it's time to give Hoyer a look. I watched the opening game it was like about, like 5 minutes in, I'm saying to myself, well, maybe it's Hoyer time. I don't know. I think it's safe to say that Hoyer would be best served to be on the bench.
Well, unless it's a blowout.
Right. Take Tom out.
Then, work toward the future, or whatever you're going to do with Hoyer.
Right. But so I would say, judging from what I'm looking at with Tennessee, who's a team that can't pass and can't defend the pass, and that's your ticket to Terribleville in the NFL. So I would be expecting the Patriots to be in the 30 to 10, 30 to 15, 30 to, they should be able to score.
And at the very least, if they don't score as much as...
Well, they better, though.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be at least a better performance, especially out of the offense.
Right.
And I think they're going to benefit from playing this game at home.
Yes.
I think if it was in Tennessee, I'd be a little bit more concerned.
Yeah, this is a win.
So, 27-13.
Good pick.
Thank you.